Hey, how you going? I'm just going to explain how to get caching happening with Cloudflare. Now, if you're on a platform like Shopify, for instance, this is not going to be relevant for you at all because they already use Cloudflare, believe it or not. It's just integrated with that platform. So there may be other platforms out there that also have the same type of setup. But if you're hosting your own site, you're running something like Wordpress, I don't know, you could be running Magento or some other system where it's on your own host, you've configured the hosts and it's your own custom website. You might want to use caching. What are the benefits of caching? Well, caching means that all of your assets can be stored on Cloudflare servers, for instance. If you've got customers, visitors that live overseas, they don't have to pull a request from the local host for those files. They'll get it served potentially from a closer data center. So that means faster speed times, it means less strain on your server, and it's just a nice way to do things. Everyone wants a faster site, especially Google. So if you care about SEO, you care about your ranking, if your site runs like rubbish, it's not really got much of a chance. So yeah, the overview of caching, let's just go through this because I'm signed into my account. You can see the overall requests for assets, so 6,720 odd. Data transferred 141 megabytes, which isn't heaps of data. If your site's optimized and you don't have a great deal of content, it's mainly text and a few optimized images, I wouldn't necessarily expect that you would get a whole lot of data transfer. But we do have some clients, I mean this is in the last 24 hours, but we've got some clients that would be transferring multiple gigabytes every day. And so that's why caching is important, because you don't want your servers sitting there having to serve multiple gigabytes a day when it can be run through something like this and it's not expensive to do it. Okay, so yeah, I mean this basic chart's kind of good to get an idea of where it's coming from. Again, if you saw something like Russia popping up here pulling all your data and it's just not relevant, you can block it. I mean, my site's probably not very much relevant to United States at all, but unfortunately we can't block that traffic because that's where Google is. That would be a problem. Okay, content types. So yeah, XML, HTML, CSS. You can see here the XML rpc.php, for instance. That particular file is used for brute force attacks on WordPress. I've got it protected, but they're still trying to hit it. And that's just the way it is for WordPress. It's the most common way that they will try brute force attack. Anyway, I mean, what can you do? That's just the way it is, right? Configuration. So you can install the plugin for Cloudflare on your website, which allows you to do a purge. You can set up rules for caching to specify times and reasons for purging. But if for whatever reason you need to come in here, you can do custom purges or purge everything that's currently in the cache. You've got caching levels here with query strings, ignoring the query strings. I don't want to change that because it's going to autosave. But that just depends on, so that depends on whether or not you're wanting Cloudflare to cache things like searches, or you might have a filter on a product page and you're arranging it with a query. It's not like a permalink URL. You've got other symbols like ands and pluses in it. That would be a query string. It might be good for you to kind of cache those type of requests. So, if you're selling the same products or you've got the same articles, nothing changes, and someone types in a particular word, you can cache that query string. And that way, the results will come up a lot faster. You won't have to have a dynamic search every time. It'll just be a static cached version of the search results. TTL, I mean, you can set that to whatever you want. You can either respect the existing headers, but some assets may not necessarily have everything covered with headers, so you can set your own time. Yeah, crawler hints, that's a cool one that kind of just lets crawlers know what's being changed. I don't really know if I've noticed much of a difference with that. I mean, we're pretty much just pay attention to Google, but they've already got the sitemap. Maybe it works. Always online. That's a feature that Cloudflare's had for a while, where if the site does crash or the host crashes, you get served a cached version that's just a static version of the site. It doesn't look great, but it might get you by. If your server's restarting for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever, at least if someone hits the URL, they're going to see something. They're not going to get a timeout. So that's worth putting on. Cache rules. I mean, I don't really need any for myself. But yeah, I mean, you can go through these and figure it all out. The caching aspect works well. I've got to move this camera out of the way. So the cache works well with Argo. So Argo Smart Routing and the cache together are a must, in my opinion. That's what kind of helps steer the the visitors to your site from different locations to the right cache or the right data center. We don't need the tunnel. Load balancing is something you might want to look at if you've got a massive site, but I would suggest if you've got just a site that's probably, I don't know, say small to medium size, possibly even a bit bigger, all you really need is Argo and the cache. There are some other tools that we do use for CDNs as well. That's content delivery networks. But Cloudflare by itself is still a good content delivery network. It's just not probably as fast as some of the others out there for the basic plans, but it's not bad. You'll do a lot better with it than without it, in my opinion. Anyway, I guess that's enough information for this video. If you've got any questions, feel free to message me. I'm not really going too in depth with some of these things because I could be here for a very long time. So yeah, feel free to send us a message if you do have any questions. Cheers.